Hi, welcome to today's action-packed edition of the Locker Room and Voice of the People TV. I am Jerry RPI. We're about to take a deep dive into the football world with some insightful analysis. It's countdown to who is who as far as the race for the league titles all around Europe is concerned. And we know the English Premier League is coming back this weekend. And we also know that the Nigerian Professional Football League is hot up. It looks like Remo Stars will not be runaway champions. They will have to fight to the last minute to see if they will pick the title. Of course, Rivers United behind and not really doing well. It's all topsy-turvy as far as that one is concerned. All right, it promises to be exciting. It's a full house. I have Ike Chuku, who makes an interesting return on the show this lovely afternoon. It's not yet ready to be controversial, I don't know, but if he has plans to be, okay, you will still tell me today that Arsenal are still going to win the league.
Good evening, Jerry, and good evening, our viewers. And yes, Jerry, it's so good to be here again. I mean, the fever and the, whatever it is that came with the Super Eagles not winning that game against Zimbabwe, it's easily, going away, and Nigerians are beginning to bubbling back to life. It's a very wonderful edition, Friday, and thank God it's Friday. And Jerry, yes, the EPL is still very much around, and it's going all the way to the wire. Arsenal is still very much in the title race. And of course, MPFL, yes, Benga Monday this side have to also fight to the death. Jerry, it's so good to be here again once, the locker room.
All right, a lot to talk about as far as football is concerned. We also want to take it up from the Super Eagles. I know you love Nigerians, and they're excited with what is happening as far as the chances of the Super Eagles making it to the World Cup is concerned. And players of the Super Eagles of Nigeria have told head coach Chelle to hand a recall to Rangers defender Leon Balogun, largely due to his experience following the 1-1 draw against Zimbabwe in Uyo on Tuesday. Balogun last played for the team 2 years ago, no thanks to his poor form at club level in the past, but he has shown glimpses of his best at Scottish side Rangers this season. The 36-year-old has played a total of 23 games in all competitions this season, a sign of how well he has maintained his physical shape since shaking off the injuries and fitness issues that slowed him down for almost 2 years. And despite his impressive form this season, he wasn't caught up by Chelle for the World Cup qualifier games against Rwanda and Zimbabwe respectively, with Nigeria winning 2-0 in Kigali before drawing 1-1 at home against Zimbabwe on Tuesday. And of course, we can hear that from the camp of the Eagles, the players are saying, bring back Leon Balogun. We used to call them the Igbo War. Him and Trustekong form a formidable partnership in that centre-back pairing. Are we saying that Calvin Bassey and Trustekong pairing is shaky? Because if we want to look at that defense closely, it seems like there's a little bit of confusion between Calvin Bassey and Trustekong. But when we see Shemi Ajayi pairing with Trustekong, we see a little bit of solidity in that defense. But if you take a look at the World Cup qualifiers, we mostly had Calvin Bassey pairing with Trustekong, which has become a major issue. I think a lot of people have not been looking at that because Calvin Bassey has been a great player and nobody wants to fault him. He gives his all, but it's not enough to make that defense really solid. Do you think Leon Balogun will return in? Or maybe because we are missing Shemi Ajayi, that's why we're also talking about Leon Balogun. But the players definitely know what is wrong and they know what they feel they need to fix those wrong in the defense.
Absolutely, Jerry. When you look at defense line, right, there's a reason every defense line in the world, every good defense line in the world, there's always the aggressor, the one who goes out to actually, get all the tackles, and there's this one who actually commands, control, and dictates how defenders move. William Troost-Ekong has always been that man who go out to, get the ball, get the dirty job. Shemi Ajayi is the gentle giant who stands back and control the defense line. Same way with Leon Balogun. Now we don't have either of them in the middle of the pack. Calvin Bassey, at best, is also a defender who likes to actually go for the tackles, right? They're not really experts in reading these games. This is one of the reasons why likes of Virgil van Dijk will always be one of the best defenders, even in their worst days, because they are perfect game readers and they are usually the last man in defense. Ruben Diaz and co. Now, if you have two defenders who are natural, number 6 in defensive pairing, like they call them 5 and 6, natural number 6 who is usually advanced in defense line, you most likely going to have problems of communication and leading the back line. We've been doing so well because both of them are actually excellent ball markers, but one person needs to actually stay and control, and we don't have that in any of them. And I kind of understand what the players are actually saying, but the truth is this has nothing actually to do with our game against the Zimbabweans. No, it has a lot to do with the team entirely. Now, Kabasi, we all know that he's not been playing that particular position anywhere. He's not been playing that particular position even at club level. So it tells you, even during the AFCON, right, Jose Pastora has to actually play him in front of Simi Ajayi and William Truss Ekong. So it tells you that this guy is not actually meant to actually be, and the position he's actually playing from a position where he has to be the one who will be the last man. So it's actually a very big problem. And Kevin Bassey being William Truss Ekong, who being the natural ball marker, but of course he's not meant to be the one who is going to lead the defense line because he's usually the aggressive one. Gave room for a lot of miscommunication. But then again, Jerry, we have to say it. We have to call it what it is. That particular defensive pairing is not the reason why we're in this position at all. But should Leon Balogun come back? Yes, he should come back. And we have to also look at the reasons why he actually left the Super Eagles camp. I mean, he actually called out the NFF, talked about infrastructure and all of that. And that was how he got ostracized out of the team. People talk about his age. Come on, we've seen players even younger than him actually still commanding defense line in Europe. The likes of Jogo Kilini were way older than Leon Balogun when they actually still played, the last Euro that Italy won in 2020. So come on, if we have all of these players across Europe and the world, why can't we have Leon Balogun, arguably our most defensive experienced defender, and then we don't have any mid-team? So come on, if the team, let me use that word. Now, if the team actually wants him to be part of it, I don't see a reason why the NFF should not actually invite him back, given that also the man who would have done a good job, similarly, is also absent.
All right. If you know the history of Leon Balogun being exempted from the team, you understand that he has a baggage with the NFF when he did an interview some years ago talking about lambasting the NFF, talking about in terms of planning, saying they've not been getting it right, and that the Super Eagles should have a permanent home ground, like in England does. And because of that, some believe that he has been ostracized from being the part of the Super Eagles. Mayowa, it's great to have you join us today on Locker Room. We're just talking about the situation of Leon Balogun. The players say he should return. They want him back in the team. The players are like those, someone you would say, he that wear the shoes know where it pinches the most.
It's always amazing to hear. But the thing is this, you understand the reason why Leon Balogun was chased away from the national team. He spoke the truth to power and he was chased away from the national team. And I think that was not right. If Leon Balogun is still playing actively and is still doing well for his club, we have a Ronaldo who is close to 40, who is already 40 and is still playing good football, and he still plays for the Portuguese national team. We have a Costa Cuta retiring at the age of 44, and he played, for the Portuguese side. So I mean, there is no reason why, a Leon Balogun that is fit can play for Nigeria. However, one of the things Leon Balogun said, apart from the fact that we needed a permanent home ground to play, was the fact that the NFF, they lack foresight and they lack planning. Why do I say this? Look at how our defense has performed, and look at how our midfield and our strikers are performing at the moment. Take away Osimhen, take away Ademola Lookman. Who else do we have that can deliver the goods? Go to the defense. Anytime we don't have the pairing of Trustekong and Semi Ajayi, there is always a problem. Where does the NFF come into this? The NFF have decided to ditch the plan of developing players from the under-17 that will be ripe enough to get into the national team, and they've opted to begin to harvest players that other people have developed. Leon Balogun, Semi Ajayi do not come to play, then we are in problem. How do we continue to live like that? We all know Osimhen, Ademola Lookman, they will not play for life. Leon Balogun, Trustekong, Shemi Ajayi will not play for life. Who are the capable replacements that the NFF are beginning to work towards in terms of replacing them? What are the technical committees doing? What is the allocation FIFA is giving NFF? What are they using it to do in terms of growing our national team? What is the pipeline for people to get into the national team? It is zero. I refer you to the Spanish team again. Majority of those that have played for the Spanish team to the national team, to the highest level, started, you can follow their record. They started at under something till they get to the national team. We don't have that in Nigeria. And that is the reason why we continue to struggle. God forbid, Shemi Ajayi is injured for the next 1 year and cannot play for Super Eagles. Are we not going to play football again? It doesn't make any sense. It is because of the poor planning. That is why we have gotten ourselves into this mess. And we need to begin to look at people who know how to run football for us to be able to resolve this issue. Yes, the boys are not there. We don't have a team at the moment. The boys are not doing well. The boys are not stepping up. Yes, we can say that. However, before we begin to talk about the success on the field of play, things need to be put right in the background. And because things were not put right in the background, that is why we are where we are at the moment. And that's just it.
All right, a lot need to be put in place. And when national teams do well on the pitch, it's not because, let's say, for instance, it's not because Lionel Messi is the best player in the world. It's because the Argentine Football Federation has also done their part of the job. Imagine Messi in a Super Eagles squad. Imagine all of the maladministration and so on and so forth. It will be very difficult. It will be very difficult. There has to be a situation. Sometimes those who handle football fail to do their job. They now leave the president to now be interceding in issues like making sure the coach who deserves to be there stays there, where politics will not be played in the type of coach that's been picked. And I read a story, was it not recently, an under-20 player, an ex-under-20 player revealing that to play for any part of the national team, it's not about talent alone. You need a godfather. You need somebody within the Football Association to speak well for you. You need to also be willing to dole out money, cash and kinds, to make sure that you water the ground. Because that invitation that brought you might be the last one. Yes, and it's not about what you are doing in your club side alone. Unless somebody would just like you and say, okay, see, if you are not giving money, I just want that player to be in the team, whether the coach likes it or not. But that should not be the yardstick. In time, go ahead,
Jerry, I can share a personal experience. The last born in my family, we call him baby of the house. He will be 36 in some couple of days. He loves to play football a whole lot. We are taught out of all our family, probably make it to be a professional. He played football until he was 21. He had an opportunity to get into the under 17 national team. At that particular time, he was around 15, 16 thereabout. And they requested us to bring $30,000 before he could make the cut. He will be 36. He's no longer playing football again. This is a personal experience. And the revelation of that particular person is something that happens all the time. If you don't grease palm, if you don't give somebody money, if you don't know somebody behind the scene, there is no way you will make it. And that's the reason why a whole lot of footballers, move away from Nigeria. Another typical example, when we had a lot of Nigerians playing for Togo and just that, some of them shared their experience. But the reason why they didn't play for the national team was because they were requesting for money. This is something that has been happening, and it's still happening till now. So see, the thing is this: there's a lot of things we need to put right in the background before things before begin to see the result on the field of play. How do you want to come and serve your country? And you have to first of all pay to come and serve your country. How does that make sense? In what world do you do that? You are not picked because of your talent. You are picked because you can grace the palm of somebody with $30,000. And I can even go further. The particular coach, I'll not mention his name, that requested for the money. I still see the person, grant interview sometimes. I'll just shake my head and be laughing. Because, if you start saying this now, they will say you are coming for somebody's father and the rest of that. But the person is still active football. And that's what we are dealing with in this country. It's just so shameful that, we have people that do not care about our football. They just care about their pockets. And that's the reason why we have players that are not good enough that are making our national team. And that's just the honest truth.
Let me give you a story. When I was a radio presenter, when I used to talk on radio, and I was very critical and hard on the NFF most of the time. I've seen situations where they send emissaries to even make threats or indirectly tell me to douse the tension down. And I found it as something that I should do because I'm not getting any kickbacks or any favor. I don't even intend to be following and begging people around to feed. At least by the grace of God, we can at least do one or two. But what is right, what is wrong. I cannot come on this platform as a trained journalist and begin to see what is wrong and not say it because one person will get offended. Because our football, if it gets better as a journalist, I will be able to go to the World Cup proud as a Nigerian to cover the World Cup because the Super Eagles is there. I'll even get more opportunities when I'm applying through FIFA. It will be easier. But if, for instance, I allow mediocrity to become the order of the day and allow the NFF get away with things as much as making sure that those who merit to be a part of the Super Eagles get the slots to be a part of the team. Because this World Cup we are talking about, this is the same World Cup qualifier where you brought in Tanimo, which was the greatest of all insults. It might be a laughing matter. Yes, because if you are serious about qualifying for the World Cup, you don't bring a quality of Tanimo to start in a World Cup qualifier. The World Cup qualifier is as good as signing your fate in being a part of the World Cup. We played politics. Yeah. We did not do the right thing. We played politics in the sense that the selection process, the naming of the coach, we forgot that these same Super Eagles were not able to be a part of the 2022 World Cup. It means that we did not learn our lesson. I remember Ahmadu Pinnick was crying at the last Congress that was done in Lagos saying that Nigerians are calling for his head. The Congress is calling for his head because he did not qualify the team for the World Cup. He said the next NFF president should not be judged because he did not qualify for the World Cup. But what are we going to judge Gosau on now? Is it that the 8 great teams are doing well? Ahmadu Pinnick brought us to a situation where we now have to rely on made players abroad because the rot in the system will not allow us to see the players that are good enough. Because it got to a point we start having players like Stanley Okoro. Where is Stanley Okoro today?
Okay, so
age is no longer on the side when it was time for him to play for the Super Eagles. You get the only people we succeeded in having, tell us boys. That's Osimhen is a product of the fact that we did well at the under 17 level. Samuel Chukwueze too is a product of the under 17 level. Now we have to rely on players. You know, at the end of the day, we come around, try and find success from where we did not plan from. It's just like you lay your bed and you lay your bed roughly and you want to lie on the perfect bed. You throw cashew nuts and you want to see orange. It's not possible. We have already laid this bed. That is why we are in this situation. And let me tell you, if we continue like this, the next World Cup will not qualify. Yes, we are going to be in this situation because now people will be asking, Eric Chelle should go. Then they'll go and recycle Salisu Yusuf because he's my friend. There was a time I was critical of why are you recycling Salisu Yusuf and Lada Boso. Somebody called me and said, Salisu Yusuf, with all due respect, is a man who is living by having national team jobs. But is it to the detriment of the future of these young ones who have one lifetime opportunity due to their age to be a part of this great team and qualify and progress eventually to Super Eagles? You now bring this, keep recycling Salisu and destroying the opportunities for the young ones to be up there. Because Salisu have been accused of collecting money and bribe to select players. This same person will be recycled tomorrow to still handle the under 17, under 20. How do I now believe that the merits, people who are playing in that team will be merit to be a part of that team and even progress to the Super Eagles? So along the line, we're just in a pool of mess and we're expecting results. It's quite rather unfortunate.
Well, Jerry, I mean, what you said is actually true. You see, I think it's very important to also go back memory lane a bit to also understand where we're actually coming from and, of course, what the problem is. First of all, I'm not even a fan of waiting to get, the best players from under 17, under 20. I'm not saying we should kill, the age grade system or players from stop players from going to this age grade tournament. But let's look at the class of '94. How many of them played the under 17 World Cup and became a star to become, the Super Eagles? That whenever we remember the Super Eagles, we look at '94. How many of them were, a star in that tournament?
To answer your
No,
question, let me just answer you quickly. At 1994, we had players who at 17, 18 had the opportunity to play at the big stage because the competition for lobbying was not that much as it is now.
Jerry,
One, and two, we have a situation where the coach who was in charge could select players who merit being a part of the national team.
My point is this.
Without any obstruction.
See, Jerry, you see.
But that is not the case today.
Jerry, my point is this, right? We can have.
Yeah, Ikechukwu, let me correct something. If you look at the under 17 World Cup started in 1985, right?
Yeah.
And Nigeria was the first set to win it, right? Some of the players that won that particular tournament were part of the 1994 team. You remember the miracle of Daman, 1989, when USSR was leading us 4-0 or thereabout, and we ended up winning that particular game. It was the same guys from that under 17, from that under 17 that played in that 89. Majority of them were part of the 94 squad.
That 89 tournament was actually an under 20 tournament.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. On that 21 went for majority of them, not all of them, majority of them made it to that team. Of them were part of the Georgia's 90, but they were not, they were not fully participating. Why then the likes of your Stephen Keshi, who was at the 84 Nations Cup, and the rest of them were part of the senior boys. However, we've had history of, some of our under 17 players making it into the national team.
It's easier.
Suddenly, we disrupted that line.
My point is this: aside Mutiu Adepoju and I think Sam Sisiasia, I think these were the only two guys in that 94
Unduka Ogbade was there.
Nduka Ogbade was also.
No. Nduka Ogbade was already gone at that point. Now, come on. It was all.
No, Ogbade was part of the 85 team that won the.
Nduka Ogbade as at 94. Nduka Ogbade as at 94 was already out of his way of.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
No, I'm not trying to fault the age grade system here. What I'm saying is that you can actually have these 1-2 good players from this age grade system. But what is most important, what is instructive, or what we should do is actually to create a system that will always produce players. When you have a system that always produces young players, that system will also produce under 17 that will go to the World Cup. Because we can have a case of under 17 players going to the World Cup and none of them will become a star.
That's true.
We can also have a case of under 20 World Cup.
That is when you don't have people like Lana Boso and Salisu Yusuf coaching the team.
No, Jerry. Yes. No, Jerry. Okay. Look
at the progression.
Let's look at the French side that won. Let's look at the French side that won the under 17 World Cup in 2001. Cinema Pongo and Letalek. Did they become a superstar in the French national team today?
No,
Jerry. My point is.
At least we know the future of those players.
No, what we are saying is at least France have a system that even if they don't produce, a great player, even if they win a tournament, that system will all continue to produce great players. The likes of Kylian Mbappe were never discovered at any great tournament.
What makes great players?
First is the system, because
what makes the system? Who is the system?
The government, the government, of course, the government that is running the.
But the system is requesting for bribe.
The system is requesting for bribe. How would that system select those players?
Exactly, we are saying the same thing. What I'm saying is the problem is actually not because the age grade system was killed. The problem was because we can decide that you know what, we don't want to play age grade system again. Great tournament again and still have the best set of players graduating through a proper system.
Which system?
Well, that's true. True.
For instance, calm down. You want a situation in Nigeria, for instance, for there to create a system. A system exists when these players are available to play tournaments. Because the thing is that you can have a system where you are training players, they are playing training. It's different from game time. And let's also look at when these players play on the 17, under 20 competitions, they also get the opportunity to play in club sides in Europe. If Osimhen had just been in a system where he played under 17 or he didn't play under 17, would he have the chance to play for Napoli and become the African Footballer of the Year?
Absolutely.
Not.
Absolutely. Did you discover Ikpeba at the same level?
I'm just giving you instances because every player's story cannot be the same.
Exactly.
Every player's story cannot be the same, but that does not mean that a system. You know, the thing is that Ikpeba was a player who got fortunate and was doing well in Europe. That is why a lot of people were talking about him today and forever. But you don't have that system in Nigeria. You can play in Nigerian league for 100 years and you will never get nominations for African Footballer of the Year when it comes to even CHAN category. We're not even talking about international category. But if you continue to work in this kind of system with this kind of NFF, you can say anything.
We don't even have a system.
Yes, you can.
that should be said. We don't have a system. That's what I'm saying.
How long are we going to wait for that system to come into play?
See, exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that.
That is why the trick is that because of the system we have no choice to go back to the under 17, under 20, make those age grade teams work again because the system has made it difficult. Because and I don't know, if you want to even look at the NPFL you're talking about, how many of the NPFL players can give you 2-3 years in the national team?
We can create an under 17 league system for the NPFL. All club sides.
See, most of them are 17 the NPFL.
No, Jerry.
If I give you that story,
Jerry, wait.
You will never see.
Wait.
Jerry, don't go there.
If I break that table here.
The under 17 that won the World Cup in Switzerland. Mm-hmm. Sorry, for what's his name? Senderos and Co. Giroud and Senderos that won the under 17 World Cup in Nigeria in 2009 against Nigeria in that final. You remember the Stanley Okoro era, 2009. Switzerland won that World Cup now, 2009 against Nigeria. That team, they gave them just wristwatch in their country because they're actually children. My point is this: at 17, a real 17-year-old boy, most likely still in secondary school or about leaving secondary school, or if he's fortunate enough, he would have left secondary school because he started early. These guys are actually not really into money at that point. And there are a good number of them that would have been playing in the Principal Cup if we still have the Principal Cup today. Now, if we can get those set of players into a proper system, Lagos State government tried to do something at one point, the J League. I was actually very close to the system at that point. I know that most of these guys, they just want to play football. They are really not after the money. We can create a system like that, and then most of these guys from that level, they can start moving.
All right, when we come back on Monday, we'll talk about that system because there's no time. Because if you give me 5 hours, I'll talk about Nigerian football and I'll give you a lot of information on what is going on. That system, beautiful paperwork. There was a time that I used to speak to Onigbide. Onigbide, if I call Onigbide today, say, Jerry, what do you want to talk about? He wants to know. He said, he wants to talk about Nigerian football. Jerry, just forget about it. I don't want to talk about Nigerian football because anything I say will just be waste of time. Because he has seen it that nothing he says will be acted upon. He has written beautiful papers on how Nigerian football can set up a system. Even, let me tell you, the director of football that Guabon is answering, let me tell you, that director of football is just names, he's just answering names.
Don't go there. Off mic.
Director of football.
He's just answering director of football. There's none of the policies he has brought that the NFF has taken serious. if any of his this have been taken serious, the selection of Eric Chelle, does it look like a Guabon's handwriting?
Guabon actually came out to say we should support Eric Chelle.
See, let's not call
What do you expect him to do? What do you expect him to do?
Let's not deceive Nigerians, please. That's what I swore to do as a journalist.
Did he say? Okay, wait. Did he come at any point to say this is not my choice?
If you are the NFF director,
he will not say that now.
Where is the honor? Where is the integrity?
No, he will not say that. You are in Nigeria. You and I know. Wait.
I'm
How
ashamed
many?
of
Are
How
you
many
saying last
people?
one now?
I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of you.
Wait.
If you are
How
ashamed
many
of me, I'm
people?
ashamed of you. But it's
How
not good.
many people? How
It's
many
not good.
people are working for any federal,
Come on.
any state-run organization that come out to talk against them? They will
He
rather do
knows.
it when they are out of the
Ikechukwu
system
knows.
now.
He's just trying to play around it. But
They will not say anything. So you and I know now. You will not come out and say anything. You will just keep quiet and be looking and say support him. What he's saying in front of the camera is right from his thoughts, and that's it now.
all right. Anyway, because of time, we are really pressed. We just have to see how we can wrap it up. We know the Premier League is back this weekend, and of course, there's also the La Liga and the Serie A. But definitely, let's just take the time to talk about when can Liverpool win this title? Because Arsenal's victory on Sunday over Chelsea reduces Liverpool's lead to 12 points, with 9 games each left to play. It means that Liverpool need a minimum of 5 more wins to make sure of their first title since 2020, but that is only if Arsenal stay on a winning track as well. And any slip-up from Mikel Arteta's men will make Liverpool's task easier. Can Liverpool have 5 more wins out of 9?
To be very honest, very honest, I think Liverpool's got what it takes to actually get 5 wins out of 9. Very honest. But then it's football, and with the way they are going, it's just for them to actually keep their heads up high. And this Liverpool side have shown that with irrespective of the fact that they don't really have this, the world, a lot of superstars in that team, not aside Mo Salah and of course Virgil van Dijk and their goalkeeper. They don't really have those big names that can actually scare anything. But then they've shown that in this title race so far, they are the most consistent team. They've shown that even when they're actually not in their best, they know how to actually be disciplined. And one thing Liverpool have shown, again, is that they want to score goals in every game. And a team that really want to score, most likely will get to win most games. And they have a good goalkeeper that's actually been, there when, the defense line of Liverpool have fallen short. So that's why I can see them actually getting 5 wins. But then it all starts from 1. It depends on how they fare in the next 2 games that we can actually look at them and say, you know what, they can actually get that 5 wins. But yes, it's still very possible Liverpool they can do it.
All right, so we're pressed for time. Taking a look at the title race, Arsenal fans, yesterday they were saying that Real Madrid is in trouble. It was trending on Twitter. Real Madrid, pray for Madrid. That was the hashtag that was trending yesterday. And when I looked at the tag, I said, what was the reason? They say Saka is back. And Madrid, they should pray for Madrid, and Madrid is in trouble. This Arsenal again, they started. Now they will say pray for Liverpool, Saka is back.
Well, I understand the reason why the hashtag is trending. Liverpool, Real Madrid female team and Arsenal female team, they played in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. And, Arsenal ended up winning that particular leg over 2 ties. Real Madrid won the first leg and Arsenal did win the second leg and they won. So that's the reason why. For the EPL, I think Liverpool has lost everything. They have only the EPL. And it would be so shameful if they go this season without winning anything. So definitely they have it in them to probably take the EPL. So I think they can win 5 straight games. I think the next five next in the next 5 round of matches, Liverpool will be declared champion.
All right. That is if Arsenal does not slip up. If Arsenal slips up, yeah. If
Arsenal cannot win 5 straight.
Arsenal will win all their games. Arsenal will
They won't win 5 straight.
They'll win all their games.
Arsenal will beat Chelsea first of all.
Arsenal will beat Chelsea now. Arsenal will win all their games. Arsenal will beat Liverpool. I told you.
Okay. They'll come and beat Liverpool at Anfield.
What is in Anfield?
In the game that
what is in Anfield?
Well,
okay.
PSG
has
what
done
is
it
in
before.
Anfield?
Via
PSG
penalties.
beat you there.
Via
Nottingham
penalties.
Forest.
What is via penalty?
Not
Defeated you 1-0,
No, it was
90
via
minutes.
Nottingham Forest did it.
No, aggregate was 1-1.
What is that aggregate? He defeated you.
Why you be excited? Man United is not going to win the league if
Forest
Liverpool lose to Arsenal. They will not give the title to Man U. You guys should calm down. Anyway, that's how we wrap it up on the show this afternoon. Big thanks, Myra and Ikechukwu. Want to say have a great weekend. And of course, big thanks to the guys who've been dropping their comments. We acknowledge those comments. And of course, keep them coming in. And on Monday when we return, we'll to the other perspective. And of course, take a broader look at those who are going to win the titles all around Europe. And of course, the NPL.